Biden's commitment to testing more Americans for COVID-19 is being fulfilled. How you can get your own testing kit straight ahead.
The state's COVID-19 outbreak shows no signs of letting up. New numbers from the weekend are worse than ever.
More rain and snow is on the way. Find out how much you're likely to receive coming up.
Live from Lexington, our home, your news. This is Fox 56 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Marvin Bartlett.
And I'm Imani Payne. A grim new milestone to report as Kentucky passes 1 million COVID-19 cases since the start of the pandemic.
Governor Andy Beshear announcing the latest numbers in today's media briefing. The governor says we're coming off the highest week ever for reported cases, with more than 70,000 new COVID cases. More than 8,000 new cases reported just today. And Beshear expects those numbers to rise. Currently, more than 2,000 Kentuckians are in the hospital with COVID, and the state's positivity rate is at its highest ever at 30%. Beshear says it's important now more than ever to get a shot.
We may all get COVID at some point before this is done. Well, that ought to make you really want to be as protected as you can be from it and to keep up that level of protection. The tools are out there. Just get vaccinated.
We also need to do better with at-home testing.
It's a commitment made by President Joe Biden to get more Americans tested for COVID-19.
Okay, we jumped ahead just a bit there. We'll get to that. More than 7,000 Kentuckians got vaccinated for the first time over the weekend. More than 16,000 got a booster. The federal government's website to order your at-home COVID-19 testing kits is live a day early, already accepting orders. The site is part of a push by President Joe Biden to get more Americans tested.
Fox 56's Georgia Ree Godfrey has more details on the president's initiative and reaction from some people who seem to be split on ordering a kit. Gigi.
Good evening, Marvin and Imani. Well, you're right. The website covidtest.test. Marvin, Imani.
Gigi, thank you. To keep up with the latest COVID-19 news, go to fox56news.com or check out the Fox 56 News mobile app. Well, you've heard this before, but here we go again. More winter weather is on its way this week.
Yeah, in fact, a weather advisory was issued today as more snow is expected tomorrow afternoon. Let's check in with meteorologist David Aldrich with more on what's headed our way. David.
Thanks a lot, Marvin. Yes, we're pretty quiet tonight, but tomorrow morning, I come tomorrow. More on your forecast in a moment.
All right, David, thank you. Well, students in Dawson Springs were back in the classroom for the first time today since December's deadly tornadoes. Schools in the area are planning to add an extra 20 minutes of class to each school day to make up for lost time. The school superintendent says he hopes to get the kids back in some kind of routine, but that he knows it will take time. Along with students, faculty members say they're ready to be back and are just happy to see their students again.
It just makes me smile and warms my heart because I've lived in Dawson 11 years now, and I was honestly terrified that we were going to lose so many students because of all the housing that was destroyed.
It won't be all business as the kids get back to school. They'll celebrate Spirit Week in order to make sure some fun is mixed into their new routine.
Lexington Mayor Linda Gorton says the city is regaining its strength despite the pandemic. The mayor delivered her annual State of the City address today during a virtual event, touching on investments made by Lexington in 2021 and projects in the works for this year, including park and trail expansion. She also says while violent crime is down here, they're still investing more to make the city safer.
Plans are underway to partner with the National Police Foundation and Flock Safety on a pilot program that utilizes still photograph cameras in and near areas experiencing crime-related issues in hopes of collecting evidence related to crimes.
Gorton says unemployment in the city has fully recovered from 2020. The rate is now 2.4%.
The Lexington Fire Department is investigating the cause of a structure fire that broke out on Rockbridge Road this morning. Crews were called to the 900 block of the road around 10 this morning and found heavy smoke and a small fire on the second floor of the home. Everybody was able to get out of the house before crews arrived. Firefighters were able to put out the fire quickly. The cause, though, remains unknown.
2 people are dead following a house fire in Rowan County. Kentucky State Police are investigating after human remains were found inside the home along State Route 1274. That's about 9 miles south of Moorhead. The area is known as Pretty Ridge Road. Police say the remains have not yet been identified. The cause of the fire remains unclear. Firefighters from Moorhead put out the fire, and the Farmers Volunteer Fire Department provided tankers.
The way Kentuckians register to become an organ donor could change. Right now, Kentuckians are only asked about becoming a donor when they renew their license. But a bill being discussed tomorrow in the Transportation Committee could change that. Senate Bill 30 proposes that Kentuckians are now asked to register when they renew their car tags yearly, giving more opportunities to capture more people to be donors. Right now, only about 60% of Kentuckians are registered as donors.
That's the number one thing that we hear is families aren't sure what their loved one wanted. And what's going to happen is as more and more people register, those patients on the waiting list are not going to have to wait as long. And we hope and pray that they won't die waiting.
Nearly 1,000 Kentuckians are currently waiting for an organ. According to Donate Life Kentucky, a kidney is the most needed organ.
A night on the town turned into a night a Lexington family wishes they could forget.
That's coming up next in our Crime Stoppers report.
And a pardoned criminal is headed back to prison. Those details when we return.
10 minutes of Fox 56 News at 10 were brought to you commercial free. Sponsored by UK Federal Credit Union.
A man who was pardoned by former Governor Matt Bevin is headed back to prison. Patrick Baker was convicted of murder committed during a drug trafficking crime. He had been out of prison since 2019 when Bevin pardoned him for the shooting death of Donald Mills, a Knox County drug dealer. At a hearing today in U.S. District Court in London, Baker was sentenced to 43 years in prison with credit for the 30 months he had already served.
After a 2-year hiatus because of COVID, Lexington's St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival will be back this year. Organizers are seeking vendors and parade entries for the big event on March 12th and say they're confident it can be done safely. The Shamrock Shuffle race will also take place. The festival has been sponsored by the Bluegrass Irish Society since 1980.
More schools are utilizing non-traditional instruction days, but are they really working?
Hear from school officials in Jessamine and Madison counties on how they're making the best of their days at home.
And aren't you glad it's not 1994 all over again? It was -17 that morning. Wow. But today, 37 was the high.